it's Saturn being above the horizon all the way till it's just coming down to conjunct the ascendant, the identity complex, the identity crises. Who am I? So that's at 75. So when she's 16, she's going to feel very insecure and isolated. This is the Saturn below. I don't fit in. I'm not fitting into the family. If dad died, this thing happened. Complicated, hard to measure. Okay, so let's just get this. I need to move this in a bit more. Back to the chart when we need to. Okay, now 74. That's the Saturn opposed Saturn. April, right on. Last hit of it, her dad died. 74 October. There was there was a house fire, and her nephew died. Right, she came from school, and she has the fear of fire. So that's the fire. All the Leo, the Aries moon, and the Cancer ascendant, but sensitive at home. Oh, but we could lose it. It could be gone. They go like there's the vulnerability, the sensitivity. In 77, see Saturn goes over the ascendant. She's feeling insecure. She said, where was it here? She started dating in August of 76. So 76 was Saturn conjunct her sun. So she's feeling isolated and alone, on her own, not fitting in, not so social as Saturn hits the ascendant. Her personal insecurity and sense of inadequacy came in. So when a boyfriend came in, she would align. She met somebody, she aligned with them. And if she aligns to someone, she's going to do everything for the guy. She's got the Mars, Venus, Mars, Pluto, Sun. She's going to want to prove she's got someone she could do everything for, like a dad that wasn't there. Somebody could do something that meant something, so she could prove herself. So that's the Saturn conjuncts the Sun. She gets pregnant, and has by May, which is just after passing this, it's moved on to there. So you can see the relationship, the pregnancy, the Saturn on her Sun, and just having had the loss of dad and the kids, she's not going to want to lose anything more. She's not going to want to lose her baby. And her Leo Sun, I'm going to take it. This is mine. You know, she's going to deal with this. It's her kid. Okay. And even though the Neptune might have had some confusion or something with family, she's still going to deal with it. And at the same point, Saturn going below the horizon, she went out to work. She got a job, she had the kid, she went out to work. Really, in her best interest would have been to go study the things she wanted to study, but already the home was not supported. It was not so strongly there. She has the kid, she's got things to take care of. The school of hard knocks on life forced her, I got to take care of myself. I'm going to need to have a job. She gets the job. Okay? And she stays there, brings that for a long time. But 77, so then the next point it gets to is 1980. In 81, she splits with the father. So this is just as in 80, Saturn hits her IC. So she has the baby, she's supposed to be studying, she's bringing up the kids, she's doing her low profile personal growth about taking care, being the mom, taking care. And it gets down to the IC where she knows what she doesn't want. She's far away from, she's working, but Saturn hits it, you feel I'm not in a good environment, I'm not where I want to be. So she might have been working and he may not have been working so much or something, but in any case, that was the turning point a year before. Like, so when she split with that father, September 81, you know, it was probably coming for a year or two anyways. She was feeling isolated, alone, and he wasn't really there. That hit the IC, but it was a strongly motivating thing. I'm not going to be vulnerable waiting for other people to do things. So then she's motivated. I got to do this myself. Okay, it's clear. So she starts doing so, but at the same time, that starts dating us. By 82, Saturn squaring her Sun. And that's when she started dating her future husband. That's her next relationship coming in on the Saturn square the Sun. And it's not till 86, the father of her daughter died from cancer. That's 86. No, that's just before the conjunction to the Saturn, before the Saturn returns. So Saturn's still down 5th, 6th house. So he dies. And she marries and plans baby, decides to have another baby. She has at 87. So 87, she has the second baby. And then 88, Saturn conjuncts her Saturn. So that's the Saturn return. I got my second baby. So she has the baby, but she also has a new husband and has his baby too. So he has his baby and the other baby. And she has the two babies. And it's working. She's making that happen. That's the Saturn return. Okay, here I am. By 90, Saturn hits the descendant. And then as soon as it hits the descendant but relating, it goes up and opposes the sun a year later. 91 opposes the sun, where you're far away from your goals as you can be. So in 90, when Saturn hit the descendant, she's separated from her husband. 91, when Saturn opposed her sun, she goes on the date with her future husband. She's not married yet, but she started one relationship when she was young and feeling insecure. Started a relationship. She's insecure and and by 90, let's see, that's 91. She separates and then she separates there. By then she starts seeing someone else. She's still feeling insecure, not fitting in, and a guy comes in. Okay, so then 92 she moves to buys her own home in Newmarket. So she buys her own home. Right after that, she's building up her status. She's come through the low point. She's building up things and is much more oriented towards career and taking care of the kid and being the one in charge. When we get Saturn up to 96, Saturn squares Saturn and conjuncts the midheaven, and her mother dies. So in 93, in between this, Saturn's in the 8th house. Her mother gets diagnosed with cancer, and then she dies by Saturn in the midheaven. So she would have tried to do as much as she could to help her mom, as much as a woman with a couple of kids can do. We can see the pressure building up to there. Then from the midheaven, now you see she's starting to go over things. So when she was first a year or two old, she had the Saturn opposition. Don't know what that was. We don't have things from that early. The first one we got ended the marriage, started a new relationship. Mom dies at the midheaven. And then 98, 98 Saturn squares the sun, nothing said. But in 2005, Saturn hits the ascendant again. 2005 hits the ascendant and then conjuncts the sun. So 2007, nothing 2007, but 2008, her best friend passes away. And then her childhood friend passed away. So she had a couple of deaths within a month of 2008. So that's just after Saturn hit it, down in the personal growth side again. 2010, the husband wants a divorce. So this is her second husband. 2010, Saturn's on the IC again. She knows last time it ended a year later. This time she's back at the point, husband wants a divorce. So it hits that nerve deeply for her again. In 2010, she also decides, I'm going back to my maiden name. The husbands, they separate, they sign the separate agreement. She buys out the house. She takes care of the house. It's her place. She's controlling it. There's all Saturn on the IC. My place, my home. I'm taking care of this. And then by December of 2010, so here we October, 9, 10, July. By December, Saturn moved off of the IC, and she reconciles. She knows what she doesn't want. She doesn't necessarily want to be alone. He comes back in, and he moved back in, and they're still happily married. So that's the next 8 years. Saturn, she's working, she's carrying it through. So we have Saturn. Where are we here? We're out 10, 12, and then what's happening here? 12. Oh, I must. Oh no, there it goes, jumps up to the outside there, 17, 18. So by the time the Saturn returns, which was this past year, she'd moved back. She sold the Newmarket house and bought a house in Barrie, and retired. She worked 33 years at the same company, I'm sure she was managing material and ran whole departments and stuff. So she was a very efficient, capable person. You can see the sun and Leo, the moon and Aries up in the 10th house. For my kid, for a family, there's the majority of planets below the rulers, and I got to maintain my lifestyle and the focus to the moon up in the 10th. I need to do this. I need to do this. Take care of that. For a daughter, I'll take care of this. I'll go work. I'll go take care of things, and she would become the champion for her family. Okay, now that's, and the husband may be more intimidated by it, but that's her nature. She's not going to be a follower. So she did that. Now, where are we here? Okay, 2014. I just want to go back to 2014 here. 2014 was just after Saturn's going through the 5th, 6th house. It's in the 6th house now. 2019 is like now it's on the descendant. Okay, the first descent was the end of the second relationship, first husband. Second relationship, she seemed happy, so she's moved. Now, Saturn's just coming to her descendant. In the next 15 years, is going to be above the horizon, where she's supposed to be out functional, out in the world, and she's just retired. So I look at this, I think, well, that's premature. Well, she's going to need to be building up to the status, and the kid's grown up and gone, so she's some of her. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm seeing this, and I'm wondering, okay, you can't know everything. You're just tuning in and taking the pieces, relating it to the information you have, trying to tune into the person's life and see it. I like this example because you have a career woman, but you also have a very feminine perspective of having a kid, having a relation come, go, start, and it has real big turning points, not just about jobs changing or things. She held that all part together. So she's a strong leader. And I think the guys would not be able to compete with her, or if they're thinking they got to lead it again, they're not going to compete with her as much. And she would demand to take care of the pack. She's not. Yeah, so she's strong, and it could intimidate people fairly easily. Okay, now, so she's retired. She moved out of the town. She moved out of the area where she was working and living, and moved to another area where she's not going to have. Now it's practical. That's practical because it's a lot cheaper in Barrie. You get a much nicer place than you would staying close to Toronto. But she moved, and moving further out, moving out to place. She's made the change to retire, but she doesn't. You get the sense when you move to another city, you don't have all your support system, you don't have all the teams around, you don't have anything. She's making a new start just when she's supposed to have built up the foundation of the past 15 years. She's completed the work with her kids, and now she wants to get out in the world and do things. But there's a puzzle here because it's like she's retired, and this is a puzzle. When you look at her chart, her moon up in the 10th house, I need to be working, I need to be accomplishing, I need to be in control of things. If she were sitting at home, she'd be probably the bossiest person or trying to do everything for everyone so much, almost too much. But I think this person needs to be working, needs to be out, needs to have a career, well, what's next? She stayed at the same job for 30 years. At Bell, which is in 30 years, that's exciting because it's gone through all the digitalization, all the computerization. Bell Canada has changed so much. There's no longer the rings or the old landlines. It's all changed. So she's worked through all of these things. But being retired, the complex between just being at home, what's stable, who's dying, who's not, what's there.